Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my unboxing and review of the HG Build Custom GMGM Weapons. So we'll just take a look at what's here in the box, and then we'll take a look at this stuff in action with the kits. So when we first saw this announced, I was actually really excited about it because the weapons looked pretty cool. Upon further inspection, they look just way too detailed. I really don't know why they made them so detailed. They're just not going to really match well with most high-grade kits. Most high-grade kits are not that intricately detailed, so it's going to look a little bit odd, I think. But I don't know, I'll hold my judgment until I actually have them built and like posed with some kits, but that's kind of my thoughts on them at the moment. It does look like there's some cool different weapon options and things that you can do with this set, so we'll see anyway. So we saw the GMGM kit itself, that was great, but let's check out this weapon. So this is number 30 in the HG Build Custom line. Wow, that every time I see the number of an HG Build Custom line, I feel like they're like counting by twos or something. I can't imagine there's that many, but it's crazy. So the list price for this is 600 yen. And then going around to the other side, you can see what all is coming with this. So it's basically just a whole bunch of different parts that you can combine and make into a multitude of different weapons. Also including the exact same beam spray gun that was included with the GMGM. So here's just showing a few examples, a few other different kits that you can use these parts with. Obviously some hands of some like older kits or something may not be the exact right size. You might have to get like some of the Jigen build option set hands or something like that. So opening this up, it is just a very small, just two little gray runners, that's it. So nothing too much in there. Let's open up the manual, which is just one sheet of paper here. There's the parts list there, just the two runners, and then just the instructions for building that. So it just shows you how to build the individual sections and then just how to combine those to make a few of the different guns. The beam sniper rifle 2, the beam rifle, it says the beam sniper rifle. Actually, there's two different options for the beam sniper rifle there, 1 and 2. The grenade launcher, the machine gun, the beam spray gun, and then just giving them to some different kits. Alright, so for the runners, it's starting off with runner D2. If you'll remember from the unboxing of the GMGM kit, this section of the runner here was labeled D1, so just that was D1 included with that kit for just the beam spray gun, but now it's just labeled D2 because it's also including these new parts on here. And again, I mean, even just between those two parts, you can see the difference in the detail. Like, this looks like a standard HG weapon. This looks like a real grade weapon or something. I guess this might go good with a real grade kit. It's so detailed, but it's just almost too detailed for an HG. And that's something I never really expected to say. But anyway, here's runner D3, which is just the other part of that. Just kind of the lower half of that runner, I guess, like that. But anyway, so this is just the rest of the parts. Again, all very detailed and all gray. So that's pretty much it. So I'll get these snapped up and then we'll take a look at them in use. But before I do that, just want to say thank you, as always, to USA Gundam Store for supplying me with this set. If you guys want to check out this set, maybe you're not quite sure yet because you haven't seen them actually in use yet, but stay tuned to the end of the video if you do decide that you want to get this or whatever else. You can shop on their online store. The link is down below. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%, and let's get to building. Alright, so here are all of the parts for the GMGM weapons, and it's just a mess of stuff that we're going to take and make into different guns. Now, you are going to have leftover parts from this, so unfortunately whatever you end up making with these parts, you'll have some parts that you won't be able to use, so you'll have to use those for something else. I think that's probably good. And I've got some ideas, well, I'll talk about that in a little bit, so just give you a look around here. As I said, my biggest concern about this stuff is that it's more detailed than pretty much any HG is ever going to be, so I think probably your better bet is to use these with a real grade, where they would probably look more convincing. But even then, I don't know which real grade you would use. I'm going to test these out with the Astray Red frame, because that's also kind of very oddly detailed. Kind of maybe similar to this, so I'll show you guys how they look with that, and then of course with the GMGM itself as well here in just a minute. But I'll just kind of go through and show you guys the different forms of the different weapons and things that you can make with this. So let's start off simply with this one. So first, this is just the regular beam spray gun. This is actually the exact same gun you get with the GMGM. So the nice thing about this is what you could do if you want is give this to your just regular GMGM and dual wield. So I think that would be pretty cool. I'm sure probably a lot of people would be into that. It's a small little gun, but dual wielding with 2 of them I think could look pretty cool. You could definitely do some cool posing with that. So there's that. This one doesn't do anything. It's just as it is. You can't use any of these parts to put onto here unless you modify some stuff. Then we have the beam pistol. The beam pistol basically serves as the base for all of the other weapons. So we do have 2 of these, which means that ultimately, basically, you can get 2 weapons out of this set. So you can just keep them like this in their most simplest form as the beam pistol, and they don't look too bad. I think the handle might be a little bit tricky to hold for a lot of kits. I'll test it out again, but I have a feeling that due to the angle of the handle, that's going to make this a little bit difficult to hold for a lot of kits. Now you can bend the angle of the handle, but let's try this here on the GMGM. So there you can see, held in the hand, it's going to be looking a little bit alright. I think if you're holding it like straight out, something like that, but you can bend it here, so it's kind of more straight, something like that. But it's going to be looking kind of okay. If there's like a certain look you're looking for, where you want to have the pistols looking like that, then it might be okay. But let's see what else we can do with this. So basically, to turn this into the heavy beam pistol, we have this part here, this guy that we're just going to add on there, which is going to just add a little bit more bulk at the front, and then give us a kind of under connection here. So here's the heavy beam pistol. It's a lot bulkier. I like that quite a bit. I think that one's definitely looking more interesting there. So from here, let's try out turning this into the beam rifle. So we have this stock part that we're going to add to the back. Just goes into there like so. This little tiny part that we're just going to add on to the top on there. And then a longer barrel just to plug in there like that. And there's the beam rifle. So I think that one's definitely looking a lot better. It's a pretty nice looking beam rifle. So again, really overly detailed, but now that I'm seeing it like actually with the kit, I'm not sure it looks too bad. I mean, yes, it's much more detailed than the kit itself, but it kind of looks okay. So I don't know. For the next weapon though, I'm going to basically strip it back down back to just the beam pistol. I'm going to leave that little part there on the top, because then we're going to be adding a camera onto this for the beam sniper rifle. So we just add that scope to the top. So here's an example of how, with this weapon set, the instructions show you how to build like the specified weapons, but you can mix and match and make it anything you want. So like if you just want to have just the beam pistol like that with a big camera on it, with a big scope, you can do something like that, which is pretty cool. You don't have to follow along exactly with what's shown in the manual. So here's the long sniper rifle barrel for this, so we'll put that in there. And then we have this thicker, much bulkier stock that will actually slide onto the back of the handle, so that'll go underneath the arm there. And there you've got your long beam sniper rifle 1. So there's actually 2 different sniper rifles that you can make. The beam sniper rifle 2, the only thing is that it's just got an extra camera part added to it, so it's just a larger camera part you can add on here to the front. There you go, and then now it just has that larger camera on there. Now again, this doesn't come with any stickers or anything, so there's nothing for that scope, but that's the only difference between the beam sniper rifle 1 and 2, according to the manual, is just adding that extra like big lens onto the scope on the front of there, which looks pretty alright, but without any open hand included with this kit anyway, you can't do any like two-handed gripping on that or anything. And it's a shame because the kit can actually do like the kneeling pose for shooting that pretty well, but without an open hand it's going to look pretty stupid. So I would definitely recommend getting one of the Jigen build knuckles, whether you get the round type or the square type, depending on whatever kit you're going to use this for. I definitely recommend getting a set of those hands so you at least can have an open hand. The open hand won't exactly match how it's supposed to look for holding a weapon, but at least it will be open instead of just a closed fist like that. So the next thing is the grenade launcher. For that, again, we're going to take this stuff off, take off the stock, take off the scope on the top, take off the long barrel. We've got a different part, kind of similar to like the heavy beam pistol, but it's just a kind of bulkier part like that. It works in the same way though, slides over the barrel and then connects down into the handle like so. And then we have this new part for the barrel, which is just this kind of short but very thick. And there we go, there is the grenade launcher. So that's pretty alright. I mean, that looks basically very similar to like the heavy beam pistol, just with a much heavier barrel on it. This part is also a little bit bulkier underneath there, but there's that. And finally, last but not least, is the machine gun. So once again, take off that part on the front, and then we have one more part here, which goes on the front of the rifle like that. And it has this weird part like underneath there. It doesn't really look like, I mean, it looks like it's supposed to be for something, but it's just kind of odd, that part underneath there. And then we have a new part that goes on the back with this one here, which has a kind of banana clip style looking magazine on the top of it. So there is the machine gun. So that's pretty interesting looking as well. I think I like that back because that clip on the top looks pretty cool. So I think doing some sort of combination with that with something else I think will probably be an ideal choice for me. So that is all the different options. Let's see how they look on the kits here. So yeah, ultimately I think the details of these weapons are going to match better probably with a real grade, something like the Astray Red frame. I think actually works quite well because it just has that kind of weird detail. It's a little bit different from like the details and shapes that you would normally find on some of the other real grades or just the other designs that have real grade kits. The Astray Gold frame I guess as well, but that one has so many weapons already. I don't know if you'd really want to add anything else to that unless you have something special in mind. But basically what I think will probably be the best use for these weapons, and probably how I'll end up using them, is more as a base for making custom weapons. Basically this will act as like a good skeleton for like adding on more parts to make some sort of custom weapon, because I think, again, for me, it's the details is the thing that just I can't imagine. I think will be just I'll have a hard time matching that with some kits. So I think the best way will be to just use that as like a inner frame of a weapon basically, and then just like use some other spare parts to build up around it to make it look more like a convincing weapon that will be used and like match the detail of an HG kit. So I think that's probably what I'll end up doing with this, but it's a pretty interesting set. The GMGM was such a great kit, and if you guys saw my review of that, one of the very few things that I could complain about was that its accessories and weapons were very simple. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but you know, a little more firepower could definitely make the kit more interesting. So I wanted to see how this could maybe help that. I don't know if I'll actually end up using these weapons with the GMGM. Actually, I'm thinking probably not, but at least now you guys can see how this looks, and so hopefully this information has been helpful for any of you guys who are also wondering the same thing. So, and as always guys, if you do have any questions or comments, leave those down below. If there's something I missed, leave that down below as well. If there was some particular kit that you wanted to see these weapons with, I'm sorry, or if there was some kit you're wondering, oh, can this kit hold the weapons, or can the hands of this kit work for these weapons? I can imagine these could probably be held by pretty much any 1/44 scale kit. The handles are relatively small, and if they don't fit, it's just a matter of just shaving down the plastic a little bit, whether that be on the hands or on the handle of the rifle, the weapon. So I wouldn't worry about the fit too much. These should work with pretty much any kit. So that's it guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye bye. Hey! Thanks for watching guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching guys. See you next time. Bye bye.